Hi guys, it seems the Tories and their supporters are no longer interested in defending Brexit, they just want the public to forget about it. Historian Simon Schama was taking no crap from a former advisor to Boris Johnson when he was told to just move on from Brexit. Simon explained why Britons are suffering more than citizens in other countries as a direct result of being outside the EU and the single market. And his criticism of the BBC on talking about the subject was thinly veiled. Have a listen to this.
Simon, what do you make of that? I mean, you're at the other end of the generational scale, if I may say.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Gove is so charming, and the message was suck it up, everybody, and the best of British luck as far as mortgage raises go. And there were two kind of very crucial footnotes to what he was saying, I think. I mean, both of which really aren't, some alluded to this. One is the sort of general sense in the country of profound inequity of opportunity, really. And it's wonderful that, all sorts of educational opportunities have been opened up. That's indisputable. It's equally very unwonderful and upsetting that in so many other respects, the way inflation has hit people's fortunes very unequally in the country, while they, see the well-off doing better off. And secondly, the dreaded B word, which every time you have me on, Laura, it's wonderful. I'm the only person who actually dares to utter the dreaded word Brexit again. Our inflation rate is worse right now, I'm not saying it'll stay that way, than any other developed country in the EU. Mortgage rates also very bad compared to competitors. So this is not totally incidental because Brexit has driven labour costs up. We all know that, and that's contributed to inflation.
The Governor of the Bank of England was saying that this week.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the immense, hairy, mighty tusk, not even elephant, mastodon in the room.
But we've left, so we have to move on and focus on the future. And I think that's the most important thing.
Moving on requires actually saying we've made the most colossal mistake.
But how does that add any value to what we do next?
Well, because you actually tell yourself the truth in politics. Okay. And in another respect, we've been talking about the way democracy depends on the acceptance of truth.
Wonderful, a wonderful speech. And you have the former Boris Johnson advisor here saying, well, if we admit that Brexit was a mistake, how does that help anything? Are you for real? How does telling the truth help anything? Well, I guess it would convince people not to vote for charlatans and liars once again. So it would actually help people. It wouldn't help politicians. It wouldn't help the Tories if people were actually honest. So if you keep people in the dark, well, they'll continue to vote Tory. And you don't want that. Most people don't want that. The Tories want that. But this whole thing of, let's just move on. Forget about it. The people voted. But we're under the impression that Boris Johnson got Brexit done. Then why are we still talking about Brexit? And why are we talking about the problems that are coming down the road? In October, more checks are coming in. In January, more checks are coming in. So Brexit isn't done. The only time Brexit will be done will be when the UK rejoins the EU. Then Brexit will be done. And in a sense, if Boris Johnson campaigns for the UK to rejoin the EU, then he will have got Brexit done. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but I don't see it happening in the short term anyway. But when it comes to equality, and Simon raised a very valid point here about the lack of equality in the country. The people who are benefiting from Brexit are the richest in society. Brexit was supposed to lift all boats. Brexit was supposed to reduce inequality. Was supposed to help the average man, woman and child on the street. But it did the opposite. It's making them poorer. Some people are making lots of money out of Brexit, but it's not the working class, the middle class, or even the upper middle class. A very small section of society is benefiting from Brexit, not the people who voted for it. And it's going to remain that way until something changes. So I think Simon, once again, it's great to have him on this show. And finally, somebody, once again, on the Laura Kuenssberg show is talking about Brexit. But sticking your head in the sand is not going to fix things. You have to at least be honest and say it was a mistake. And then you can start to fix problems. If you ignore the problem, it's not going to go away. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.